digital money and double spending, right? So think about in this way: if you have 2,000 rupee with you, paper money or coins, right? Once you spend it, right, there is no choice of. So when I say spend it, you buy something or you like kind of give it in loan or give it as a gift, right? Any way you want to use it. Once you give that, physically give that cash, right, there is nothing with you, right? Obviously there is something called fake money, like duplicate currencies, but a lot of systems are there, lot of machines are there which can easily identify those fake currencies, right? Fake notes, right? Sometimes it becomes a huge burden on society, but there are mechanisms which can identify those fake currencies or fake notes. But if you have a legal money, legal physical currency with you, let's say you have 10,000 rupees, tomorrow you bought a phone of 9,000 or 10,000 rupees worth, you exchange that, right? You give that physical money to somebody, some shop, then you get a phone instead of that, right? So that is the physical money where double spending is kind of impossible, right? Unless you create a mechanism which can duplicate, like kind of to the maximum, to 100% accuracy the money, right? So which right now at least lot of fake currencies sometimes get into circulation, but government or central banks have mechanism to identify them, right? How to identify a fake note? There are a lot of mechanism around it. Real money, if you have a physical cash, once you spend, you do not have anything. But think about the money in your bank account, right? Who guarantees that? If I say that I have 20,000 rupees right now in my bank account, I might have a bank account in SBI or ICICI or whichever bank, right? The government, the bank wherever I have account, they are identifying that. Let's say tomorrow I from 20,000 rupees, 5,000 rupees, I send it to my sister or my mother, right? So 20,000 rupees minus 5,000. Somebody is keeping that ledger. Somebody is keeping that account. Who is doing that activity? My bank, wherever I have account, right? And 5,000 rupees will be added to my sister's account or my mother's account, and that their ledger, their account will get updated, right? Is there a way where I can copy that digital currency? Some people do that. Some people do hack into system, right? So just imagine a system where I can hack into a like kind of your central bank account or reserve bank account, right? And create some duplicate money, right? So just think about in this way: physical money, you have certain paper notes. What do you mean by I have an account of 3,000 rupees in my account? That is just a database system, right? Somebody is able to access to that database. Rather than 20,000, they can put 40,000, right? Rather than 40,000, they can put 4 lakhs also, right? Sometimes it happens also. People got into, though it happens very rarely, right? They can get into access that database of central bank and make those changes, make those like kind of hack into those databases, right? So that is a problem, though it is hypothetical and still it is difficult to do. Digital currency, because there is a database, there is an entry in ledger, right? You can just change that number from 2,000 to 5,000 or 20,000 or 2 lakhs, right? And that number will show in your account, right? So that is the problem of digital money. If you remember, we discussed that when you discussed about blockchain. If I have 2 Bitcoin in my account, so now I want to send 1 Bitcoin to 3 people. If I have a, let's say, if I have 20,000 rupees and I want to send to, let's say, 3 of my friends 10,000 each. If I do that transaction, my bank will tell, no, you do not have money in your account because you have already sent 10,000 rupees to person A, 10,000 rupees to person B. Now you have only zero money in your account, right? You do not have any amount to send it to third person. Think about the way whatever we have discussed in blockchain. There is no central authority, right? There are miners or there are validators. There are people like you and me who are involved. If I start sending that, if I start, let's say I have 3 Bitcoin or 2 Bitcoin, I start sending 1 Bitcoin each to person A, B, C, right? How will it be managed, right? We can have a centralized authority like a bank who will verify that, okay, how much money I have in my account. If I have only 2 Bitcoin, So they'll make sure that the transaction over to Bitcoin won't be possible, right? So that is the meaning of centralized authority. So those banks, wherever through whom we are making those transactions, they help us in doing that, and they take certain transaction fees per year or per month or per a quarter, right? To make sure that they are verifying our account, they are verifying all the transactions, and the transactions are real, right? There is no like security breach around that. So that is one method which has been for last 100 or 150 years, where there is a centralized authority who are verifying all the transactions and making sure that mistakes are very less or mistakes are not possible. Or we can do a something through a blockchain, which we discussed in last, like kind of when we discussed in session 2 to 5, where we have a timestamp, right? So we have discussed all those methods through which double spending can be avoided. So all your transactions are timestamped, right? At a same moment when I'm making a transaction to two persons, there will be always a fractional second gap, right? It can be in millisecond. Whichever transaction happens first, that will get processed first in blockchain. And after that, some miner will verify whether I have a additional money in my account to make the second transaction. If not, they'll close. They'll say that this transaction is not valid. Remember what we discussed in blockchain. Miners do two activities. They verify each transaction. Second, after transactions are verified, they take transactions and put that into a block. And they try to solve that puzzle, which is called finding that random number, finding that nonce, which will create that hash, proper hash, right? So those are the two activities, miners, validators, whichever name you give, they play. They verify transactions and they put those transactions into a block, right? So now this verification part, either it can be done through a central bank or a commercial bank in which we have a account. So basically centralized authority, or it can be done through a blockchain. In blockchain, that activity will be done by a third party, people like you and me who are participating in blockchain, and double spending can be avoided. The problem of double spending exists only in digital money, because somebody can change the ledger, somebody can hack into your database and can change those numbers. That problem exists in this kind of digital money. But remember the situation 100 years back or 150 years back, when all this database system was not there, computers were not there. You will hold that money, right? You will hold those physical currency. So you'll count that I have 10,000 rupees. Once I give that physical currency to someone, I do not have any money, right? So I do not have something called double spending in when I have physical money. But double spending always is a problem in kind of digital money, because somebody can hack into your account, somebody can hack into those bank's account and can change those numbers, right? So that is why double spending is always a problem with digital money, right? Any question on this slide?
No, sir.
So now, what do you mean by cryptocurrency? Cryptocurrency again is a medium exchange created and stored electronically in a blockchain, right? Using encryption techniques, we have discussed that with a private key and a public key, right? To control the creation of monetary unit and to verify the transfer of fund. Bitcoin is the best known example, because Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency which succeeded for a long time, right? So let us try to understand few of the characteristics. Has no intrinsic value in that it is not redeemable for another commodity such as gold. Remember what we discussed. Whenever a money is actually, when it's a worth it, whether it is a representative money or a commodity money. Commodity money is a gold coin or a silver coin. It has actually some value. If I say I have a 5-gram gold coin, depending upon the gold value that day or that month, it has that whatever 20,000 rupees worth or 25,000 rupees worth. It will obviously change, right? It will never remain exact, but it will always have some value. Similarly, if I have a representative money, that means I have a gold certificate or a silver certificate. Government is telling me, if you hold this certificate for 3 years, after 3 years, you can exchange this for 5-gram worth of gold or 10-gram worth of gold, right? But what right now we have 2,000 rupees of paper currency or 100 rupees of paper currency, government is not making any guarantee that can I exchange it for gold? No. Only government is telling whoever holds that money, whoever holds this paper, government will pay that 2000 rupees. But what is that 2000 rupees? If you like think in that way, that 2000 rupees government is only deciding, right? Tomorrow if economy collapses, that 2000 rupee doesn't have any value because government is not telling that instead of 2000 rupees I'll give you, let's say 0.1 gram gold or 0.05 gram gold. Government is not telling that, right? So that used to happen till 1971, right? When money used to be representative money. Now money is fiat money. Same thing here in cryptocurrency. People believe that there is certain value, that's why they use it. But as such, I cannot exchange it for gold. Nobody is guaranteeing me that, okay, if I hold one Bitcoin, I can exchange it for gold. Right now, obviously, it has certain value. I can buy gold, I can buy silver, I can buy anything out of it. But tomorrow Bitcoin collapses, it can be zero also, right? There is no guarantee. No country, no government, no third-party agency is guaranteeing that this is a value, this is a exchange value. Remember, currency which is has an intrinsic value, which can be exchanged for some precious metal that has only value. Otherwise, even the paper money what you have in your wallet or your at home, only due to government's assurance. It has no intrinsic value as such. Has no physical form, exists only on network, right? So it is not that like a paper currency. If I go to a bank and I say that I want to withdraw 2000 rupees of money, so obviously the teller will give me 2000 rupees of 500 notes. So that is a physical form of money. But in Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency you think of, there is no physical form of money, right? Obviously, you can think of a paper wallet. We'll discuss later on, but that is just a representation of your code or representation of your private key or public key. It is not actually a paper money, right? So it has like in your, if I say I have 10,000 rupees in my bank account, tomorrow I can go and withdraw 10,000 rupees of money and I will have physical notes, physical coins for that. But in cryptocurrencies, that is not possible. Nobody is going to give you physical form of cryptocurrency. Its supply is not determined by a central bank and the network is completely decentralized. So that part already you have discussed, right? There is no government, no
Sir,
central bank.
your
Sir, your
voice is
voice is
breaking,
not
sir.
audible.
Hello, am I audible now?
Sir, your voice was breaking.
Till what part it was clear, or uh, did I cover the cryptocurrency first, at least
Sir,
first 2 points?
when
Yeah, please
sir
go ahead.
has no physical form at that point.
Okay,
Sir
okay,
has no physical form.
okay, okay. So just imagine a situation: I have 10,000 rupees, or you have 10,000 rupees worth in your bank, right? Tomorrow you can go to State Bank of India and withdraw from ATM. You do not have to go to bank. You can go and put your debit card and withdraw ATM card and withdraw 10,000 rupees of money. So that is 10,000 rupees of physical money, physical notes or coins, right? So that means that money which is given by the government of India has a physical form also. In your bank, it has a digital form because in your account it shows 10,000 rupees. In ATM, if I withdraw, it has a physical form in terms of 2,000 rupee note or a 500 rupee note or 100 rupee note, right? So money also has a fiat money also has a physical form, but that is not true in the case of Bitcoin. So in Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency which we talk about, right? That this is just a number of line of codes, right? Having a private key and a public key. This doesn't have a physical form. So I cannot go and say that, okay, I print 10 Bitcoin or 5 Bitcoin. So that won't be valid. So I cannot print 5 Bitcoin and I'll give you, take this 5 page of Bitcoin and that is yours. That is not possible, right? So that is where cryptocurrencies do not have physical form, right? Cryptocurrency has a value on the network also, but your physical money, it tomorrow, let's say network internet collapses, internet doesn't work in India, but if I have, let's say, 10,000 worth of money, that money still will have value. I can go and buy vegetables, but tomorrow internet is not there, your Bitcoin won't work, your any of your cryptocurrency won't work, right? So cryptocurrencies only have digital form. Your fiat currencies both have digital form because I can transact over a network. I can send 10,000 rupees from my account to your account. Also, I can get physical money from the ATM and use it, right? So fiat money, the currency or the money which is secured by government or central bank have both digital form and physical form. Cryptocurrency has no physical form. Is it clear or any doubt? And any doubt on the first two points? Has no intrinsic value and has no physical form.
Sir, nowadays Bitcoin has certain value. So who confirms that, sir?
Nobody confirms. It is again a people's our kind of faith in that. Many people use it. It is, if you see the third point, right? Many people start using it. Its value will increase. People start dumping it. It will have no value. Nobody guarantees it. Nobody confirms that Bitcoin is worth 30,000, 30 lakh rupees or 24 lakh rupees. So it is basically like a supply and demand. Today people are using it, it has a demand, so value increases. Tomorrow people do not use it, it will decrease its value, right? So there is no third party, no, there is no agency which will confirm its value. Same thing as a
So this
stock.
value is accepted across the countries or it varies from countries to country?
uh, Value is basically through exchanges. Like I said, I think majority of countries have prohibited or at least have like kind of negative view about cryptocurrencies. So basically there is no role of a country, right? So it is basically on internet, there are exchanges. So on that exchanges it has value. Tomorrow it might drop to zero also. Or let's say there are like US government, European government and major powers put a restriction, it will suddenly become zero, right? So its value is only on those exchanges, right? It doesn't have any value backed up by any government or any country. I think few countries have started adopting that. Ecuador is one example. Philippines is one example, right? So there it has value, but most of the countries it doesn't have any value.
Yes, sir.
Unless, like I said, because Bitcoin is decentralized and it is being managed by third party, like people like you and me, right? Whoever becomes the miner in that network. But obviously, a digital currency, which will be right now, Reserve Bank of India will maybe by next year they'll come up with their own cryptocurrency, right? Central bank digital currency. Almost all the countries in future are going to come up with their own cryptocurrency. Those will be value. Those will be backed up by government. Those will be backed up by the central bank. Right? They'll say that okay, somebody holds, let's say, Reserve Bank cryptocurrency. It will have, let's say, 100 rupee worth or 10,000 rupee worth. But right now, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Stellar, Ripple, whichever Dogecoin, whichever cryptocurrency you take, it is only valued in exchanges because I have, let's say, 10 Bitcoin, I want to sell it. I'll say that, okay, for each Bitcoin, I want to charge 30 lakh rupees. If you are willing to pay for that, it's okay, and I'll sell you, then the value is 30 lakh. But you will say that, okay, I'll pay only 20 lakh of rupees, I'll not pay more than 20 lakh. If majority of people believe that it is worth only 20 lakh, the Bitcoin value will be 20 lakh. So that is only our own belief, what is the value of Bitcoin. When I say our, means those players who are kind of transacting over on that exchanges. Like in a stock market, if some of you have your own account in stock market and have traded in stocks, so how do you define a value of a stock? Lot of discussions happen, but nobody can guarantee what is actually value of a stock. Lot of fundamentally strong companies are there where stock value is very less. Lot of fundamentally weak companies are there where value of the stock is very high, right? Because people believe that there is a future. Like recently Zomato, I think they listed and I think their valuation is 1 lakh crore. That company is still making loss. People still believe that in future it will be a very big company who will have worth, its stock will have worth. So that is again a people's belief. Nobody is backing. Government is not telling that Zomato stock is 110 rupees or 120 rupees. Tomorrow it might be zero. like very many companies are there which has happened. Reliance Infra, Reliance Power, they went from 100 rupees, 300 rupees to almost zero. Yes Bank is one example. 3 years back, 4 years back, it used to be worth 400 rupees. Now I think it is only 10 rupees, right? So again, because people right now believe that it has no value, because in between there is a lot of kind of scandals or corruptions around that, right? So same thing with the cryptocurrency also, right? How people believe that whether how much value that currency, that money is, right? So it is supply is not determined by a central bank. No country is generating or creating cryptocurrency. It is very decentralized, right? People like you and me who participate in that network, they are creating the cryptocurrency, right? Any doubt on this? So differences: fiat money, physical medium of exchange. I can take a withdraw money from ATM and it has a physical 2000 rupees, 500 rupees. Cryptocurrency is only digital medium of exchange, right? Represented by bills and coins. Bills means your paper money. Represented by one private and public piece of code. If you remember, that's what we discussed. If I want to transact some money from my account to another account, right? I want to have a private key, I want to have a public key, right? Unlimited supply, government can produce as needed, right? And that is where the supply and demand of money comes into picture. Tomorrow, government prints lot of, Reserve Bank of India prints lot of money, 2000 rupee note, 500 rupee note, right? Lot of kind of cash inflow will be happening to market, right? The prices, inflation rate will increase because lot of supply of money is there. People have money in hand. People will be willing to pay money to buy certain items. The prices of goods will increase. So that is the control central government keeps, how much money they have to print. So when it says that government can produce as needed, right? So that is decided by the central bank, at least Reserve Bank of India in India, Federal Bank in USA, European Bank in for euros, right? Limited supply. It is not true for all the cryptocurrencies. Some cryptocurrencies have limited supply, like Bitcoin has a limit that no matter what happens, Bitcoin only will have 21 million Bitcoins, not a single one Bitcoin more than that. Bitcoin has a limit. Like that, there are many cryptocurrencies which have a limited supply. The algorithm has been designed in such a way that once it reaches the limit, right, that's it. There will be no more money to mine, no more cryptocurrency to mine. But there are few cryptocurrencies which are unlimited. So as long as there is a requirement, people will be mining it. People will be creating new public and private keys and it will be generated, right? So few cryptocurrencies, this sentence is not true. Each cryptocurrency has a set maximum. No, it is not true. Few cryptocurrencies are there which are kind of a fixed limit, like Bitcoin. There are a few cryptocurrencies which have a no limit, like unlimited supply. Fiat money issued by a government or a central bank, produced by computers because it is produced in network, right? Miners like you and me. Centralized, issued and controlled by law and banks. This part is decentralized. There is no government or no entity which is managing cryptocurrency. Value determined by market and regulation. Here, because government tomorrow might print more money or less money, right? The exchange rate, how countries decide, right? Uh, what is the export, what is the import, how much value of export, how much value of import. So based upon that, your monetary value or the value of your currency will change. Here, it is purely based on supply and demand. Today, people are looking to buy Bitcoin, people are looking to buy Ethereum, so prices are increasing. Tomorrow, let's say some other currency comes into picture, people will start buying that, right? Lot of people bought Dogecoin because Elon Musk started putting that, right? And lot of people become millionaire. Lot of people also became kind of poor because of that change in fluctuations in currency, right? It is just purely based on supply and demand, right? It is not regulated. That's why a lot of concerns from government and central bank is there, right? Lot of people might lose a lot of money due to this kind of huge fluctuations in the market, right? Any questions on this? So now coming back to one of the big challenge in cryptocurrency, right? So I'm not sure whether it is clearly visible or not. Let me just read it out. Visa and Mastercard. Mastercard also does same kind of number of transactions. They carry out at least minimum on an average 24,000 transactions per second, right? In a, so if you use your debit card or credit card, right, either it will be Visa or Mastercard, right? So like that, in each second, if you buy something on Amazon, Flipkart, or in your local shop, you are using your debit card or credit card, right? And that itself is a one transaction, right? Like that, Visa and Mastercard handle around 24,000 transactions in each second, right? Similarly, let's say if I say PayPal, around 193 transactions per second, right? But think about Bitcoin, around 3 to 7 transactions per second. Ethereum, around 15 to 25 transactions per second. Ripple is good, so that's why one of the big kind of advantage of using Ripple is its transaction speed, around 1500 transactions per second. So why I want to show you this, others like Stellar, IOTA is for Internet of Things, that coin is basically for Internet of Things. Then Dash. So all of this, if you see, if you compare to this transaction speed of Visa or MasterCard is very low. Even if you take the example of Ripple, which has a transaction speed of 15,000 transactions per second, right? In comparison to Visa, it is almost 1 by 15th of time, right? So that is or 1 by like kind of 12 time, right? So Visa is 12 or 13 times faster than your the best cryptocurrency what you have in terms of transaction speed, right? So that is where one of the loophole or the disadvantage, big disadvantage of cryptocurrency, the transaction speed. As many people start adopting that, right? So imagine a scenario: you are making a transaction on Amazon. There is a 1 hour or 30 minutes window for a discount. You pay through your credit card. The transaction happens in few seconds, maximum 5 to 10 seconds. Sometimes there is a failure. Maximum within 2 or 3 minutes, the transaction is done. Imagine a scenario in Bitcoin. At least transaction confirmation takes right now 60 minutes. If you are doing in Ethereum, it takes 6 minutes average. It might be more than that, it might be less than that. So that is where the adoption rate is low. People are still using it to exchange, but just imagine our day-to-day life. I want to send money, there is an emergency. I can send it through Google Pay or Paytm or Phone Pay. Within few seconds, few minutes, I'll be able to make the transaction. I want to buy something in a shop. I'll give my credit card, debit card. Within few seconds, the transaction is done. But imagine a scenario: you'll go and let's say 10 years down the line, 5 years down the line. If the current speed only after 5 years, I believe that it won't be the case that time. But imagine a hypothetical scenario: 5 years down the line, Bitcoin and Ethereum has been legalized in India, so you can pay it anywhere. So you go to a clothes shop and you want to purchase something. Do you believe that you will stay there for 15 or 25 or at least 6 minutes if you are like kind of paying through Ethereum to make that transaction? Right? Nobody will wait for that much of time. In Bitcoin, it is 60 minutes. So that is one of the biggest opportunity and biggest disadvantage at this point of time. So if you see Ripple or IOTA are interesting in that kind of concept, they are trying to increase the speed of transaction. With a different mechanism, they are trying to increase the number of transactions per second. Right? So that is where in future, those cryptocurrencies who will able to match the speed of Visa or MasterCard will have much more value than those cryptocurrencies which won't have very slow transaction speed. Because unless people start using it, this money will be hypothetical term, right? People currently are using it, whichever Bitcoin, Ethereum, but the adoption rate may be 0.5% or 1%. Unless majority of people in India or in world start using it, it won't have any actual value. It will be always a imaginary or hypothetical scenario. Tomorrow, government regulations come and the cryptocurrency market will collapse. But still, it has its usage as long as you will be able to increase the transaction speed. So if you see all the new cryptocurrencies which are coming into market like Ripple, IOTA, and all those which has been into market for last 3 to 4 years, they are putting a lot of money, lot of investment in increasing the transaction speed. Ethereum right now, I think they will move into, right now it is 6 minutes per average transaction speed. After October, when they start implementing the new framework, right, from proof of work to proof of stake, the transaction speed will increase, and I think it will be in few seconds, right? But still, it is a long way to go and to match Visa and Mastercard's transaction speed. Any questions on this?
Set the average transaction confirmation time. Is this the time taken by the validator to confirm the transaction?
No, actually, in Bitcoin, the concept is at least you wait for 5 to 6 blocks before you say that, okay, my transaction cannot be changed. Because sometimes what happens, some mistakes happens, transactions can be altered, right? So generally, the algorithm is designed in such a way. Let's say your transaction right now it is 950, right? I make a transaction, I send certain 1 Bitcoin or 0.5 Bitcoin to some other person, right? That transaction gets recorded within 10 minutes, right? Generally, each transaction gets recorded in 10 minutes. But the algorithm is designed in such a way that it will wait for 5 to 6 blocks. Average block creation time is 10 minutes. So 5 to 6 blocks means 50 to 60 minutes before it says that, okay, transaction right now is in a state that it cannot be altered, right? Because let's say by mistake, rather than 0.5, I make a problem and I did 0.8, right? There is a chance that if that transaction has not been recorded, right, I can alter it. But once it recorded and validated by the miners, right, still they wait for 5 to 6 blocks to be very safe, right? So that in parallelly nobody is making certain hacks and all those things. So that is the time limit. So it is not that you have to wait 60 minutes. On an average, right now, if you see last 100 blocks or 50 blocks, the average time has been 6 minutes or 8 minutes in blockchain, in Bitcoin, right? So you have to wait for 5 to 6 blocks. That means around 30 to 40 minutes, right? So that is the average transaction confirmation time.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll just take another 5 minutes to discuss. And this is an interesting concept. If some of you, those of you have already traded or have cryptocurrency, right? So for you, it will be beneficial. There is a concept of hot wallet and cold wallet. So where do you save your money, physical money? So that is a wallet, right? You hold your purse or wallet and you keep those money, right? Similarly, now the question is, where will you keep your cryptocurrency, right? So there is a concept of hot wallet. Hot wallet means it is connected to internet, right? Either it will be through a exchange. I can keep my money in exchanges. So those will be web wallets. There are certain websites I can create account. I can store my private key. I can store my public key securely. So those are web wallets. I can download the desktop version. I can keep that in my desktop also and in my mobile phone also. So those were hot wallets connected to the internet, right? So I need to have a mobile application. I need to have a desktop application to store my private key and public key and use that cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, or whichever coin I want to use, right? It is kind of little bit easy because it is directly connected to internet. Let's say I want to sell 2 Bitcoin or 3 Bitcoin. So I'll just go to internet, go to that exchange, connect to my private key and sell that whatever 2 Bitcoin or 1 Bitcoin. Or I want to purchase something wherever Bitcoin or Ethereum is accepted, I can pay through my account. Same thing like you do in your bank account, right? You have stored your bank details in Amazon. Through that, every time you purchase something in your Amazon, right, you can put certain password and you can make those purchases, right? Every time you are not putting your credit card details or banking details, right? If it is a new website, obviously you do that. Same situation here. You will have a user ID password. You log into your account, and through that you can make any transactions like you do it in your digital currency. Cold wallet is something which is like your physical wallet, right? It is not connected to internet, right? So there is certain USB pen, something like a USB pen drive. It is not actually USB, but something like your pen drive. There are few companies which kind of sell those pen drives, right? So you can store your cryptocurrency, right, in that USB pen drive. Prejo is one company, right? And they'll say that, okay, which cryptocurrency you can store. So I think the like minimum ones they charge around 5,000 or 6,000 rupees. The premium or the like better pen drives, better cold wallets, right? If you buy it, will cost you around 14,000 or 15,000 rupees. So those can store around 100 types of cryptocurrencies. The 5,000 rupee worth that pen drive, they'll store only 3 types of cryptocurrency, right? Depending upon how many cryptocurrencies you are trading or how many cryptocurrencies you have in your account, right? You can buy those cold wallets. Cold wallets are physical pen drives, right? So why it is named cold? Because it is not directly connected to internet. Hot wallet is directly connected to internet. You have to have access to internet to access your money. Cold wallet, you can store that in your cold wallet, like you keep your physical money in your wallet or purse, right? Same situation here. Hardware wallet, paper wallet is something which is a kind of a printout. Most people do not use that, but there is a few companies have started the kind of giving paper wallet, where basically you can have your kind of private key and public key printed in that paper wallet. But generally people avoid using that because somebody can steal your paper wallet easily, right? Just imagine you are like you keep money at your home, somebody can steal it. Same situation here, right? So that those are the cold wallets. So online wallets, something like a web wallet, right? You have a account, you can log in into that account, and so most of the exchanges, right? When they say that you have your 2 Bitcoin or 5 Bitcoin or whatever money you have, right? So those are nothing but those online wallets, right? There are also certain websites where you have to pay, I think, user fee of 500 or 600 rupees per year, and you can store your private key, public key there, right? So those are your online wallets. Mobile wallet and desktop wallet, right? Both have similar concept. You have to download that application, mobile application or a desktop application, to store your public key and private key. It is little better than your online wallet because online wallet, your information is stored in their server. Desktop and mobile wallet, it is stored in your mobile, in your desktop, right? Through that application. Hardware wallet, so that is what I was talking about, the cold wallet. That is a pen drive. So this is where you can store your, so it is not our regular pen drive. It is not that I can store, I can just buy a USB pen drive from Amazon and store it. There are specifically designed to store your private key and public key. Few companies are selling that. You can check that on internet. So those are the hardware wallet. Paper wallet, like I said, if you see in the right side bottom page, so your private key, public address will be printed and you have to store it in safe, right? Sometime you want to make a transaction, there will be a code scanner like you do for EPI transaction, right? So you can do the same thing, and through that code scanner, you can make transactions, right? Mobile app code scanner, you can do your transactions. But again, it is very unsafe to uh, have those paper wallet because somebody can steal it and you will have no chance to retrieve it, right? And if it is destroyed, it is gone, right? So these are different kind of wallet where you can store your cryptocurrencies. So I'll stop here for today. If you do not have any question, I'll stay for 1 or 2 minutes if you have any questions. Okay, sorry for the disturbance today. I think I disconnected, I think 5 or 10 times. I have another 3 slides. I'll cover that in the next class before your presentations. Make sure that your one person from the group is uploading the presentation by Monday, right? Then I think 7 or 8 groups are there. I'll see that if I have not shared that Google document, I'll share with you where your attendance, your internal marks, and project group details are there, right? So
Yes, sir.
take care. Take care. We'll meet next class.
Sir, I missed an attendance, sir.
Yeah, roll number.
342.
Okay.
Thank you.